too.
I'm just a bit sad we lost all that hot cross bun content.
Yeah.
That's right. I'll chuck this bit in, and then they'll be like, "Oh no, what was the hot cross bun content?"
Yeah. Yeah.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the third ETTO comic cast.
My
We
God.
did it.
We did it.
It's amazing.
Three.
I don't know what we did, but we did it.
Yeah.
Look at this consistency. We're
Yeah.
actually 3 months in a row. It's amazing.
It's not bad. It's not bad. And they're all
good.
freaking linking up so
They are.
Yeah.
directly
Yeah.
with the things we're
This is true.
consuming.
This is true. So yeah, I'm Ben. We've got Josh here.
Will.
Well,
Josh.
Josh and Will.
Yeah.
Will and
Yeah,
Josh.
we introduced ourselves. I'm so sorry, Ben.
No,
Yeah.
that's okay. I mean, it's your channel, really, so you guys can introduce yourselves whenever you want.
That's
Thank you.
okay.
Yeah.
I'm Josh.
That is Josh.
No,
You said-
not
you said-
whenever you want.
Well, that's what Ben said.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. Very good. As I said to these guys before the recording, this is the energy we're going to get today, so we're just going to roll with it.
Yeah, that's it.
Welcome. Yeah, third podcast. We're doing Falcon and the Winter Soldier. It's cool.
Yes.
From last year, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, last year. So
Yeah. So new. The newest.
just
the
like
newest we've done.
just like rolling straight into it. Yeah, it was a tie-in to the Disney Plus show that has obviously come out last night when we were recording this. And yeah, it's obviously because it's called Falcon and Winter Soldier. That's where we're tying into it.
makes sense.
It's the only time they've ever done like a Falcon and Winter Soldier together thing, which I think is weird because like they're pretty iconic Captain America sidekick duo. So
Totally.
it's
yeah,
interesting.
for sure.
The good part about it, though, is that if you want to buy a comic that'll look good in your like Disney Plus collection of comics, it's easy and cheap to acquire. So thank you for doing that, Disney Plus, Marvel Comics.
Yeah, fully.
It's pretty good.
Yeah. And yeah, no, so I was just surprised that it had taken them this long to actually get those two together. But I guess they've been together in other comics. They were probably just called Captain America. I went to Illinois and fought someone. I don't know why Illinois came up there.
Checked out on a boat. Had a look. Had a look at a boat that my family owns.
Yeah.
Why not? What a mystery.
These are the comic curiosities, by the way. I didn't introduce the fact name, but yeah, thanks Dolphin Pants for that one again. So in the comics continuity, both of these characters have already been Captain America, which they make a point of when we read these comics. So I went back and kind of found out when that was the case. Sam only very recently gave up that mantle after the Secret Empire storyline. There was a restored version of Captain America, as there always is. Took it back from him, and I think that led into the Captain America run that's going on at the moment with Ta-Nehisi Coates, which apparently is really good, but I have not read it.
Interesting.
And then Bucky last gave it up in 2009, so much longer ago. Apparently, he was about to go on trial for being a war criminal, so they were like, yeah, being Captain America is probably not the best idea for you, and it's fair enough. In terms of the people who made these comics, we have... it was written by Derek Landy, and he has only done like 2 comics. He has done this series, and then he did a 2019 series about Thanos' Black Order. But he's most well known for writing the Skullduggery Pleasant series, which is a name I have not heard in at least like 11 years.
What? That's so random.
Yeah.
What a cool thing.
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy?
That's hilarious.
And
It's weird because like the series feels very much written by like a Marvel writer.
Yeah.
Like tonally, it really fits within everything I've ever read of Marvel. So that's surprising that he hasn't done more.
yeah, absolutely.
It does, but I totally agree. It does. It totally fits in. I think that was one of my notes. Is just how much this series has such the like beautiful Marvel charm, like the humor of like repeating lines or jokes to one person and then having to say it directly to someone else like a couple of panels later.
Yeah.
I love that sort of thing and references to other characters like Hawkeye throughout this whole thing. It's great. They just rip into him. It's fantastic.
Yeah. No, totally.
Yeah, but one of the other things I thought was, which I guess kind of makes sense, is a lot of the times these characters seem to kind of be a little bit like childlike Like they just kind of act like children a little bit, and the fact that he wrote
a children's series,
a children's series, I'm kind of like, I kind of get it now.
Makes
Like
sense, yeah.
every now and again, the characters just revert to being children, which we'll get to. But
yeah. Apparently, he's a
funny.
big like comics fan, which makes sense that he was that good at
awesome.
writing this kind of thing. He also did a Doctor Who short story about the 10th Doctor. I don't know where that got published. I didn't look that deep into it, but I was like, that's interesting.
That's a cool thing.
He's basically Will.
I wrote
With
Skullduggery
Little Red
Pleasant.
Skullduggery.
Yeah.
And then the artist Federico Vicentini.
Nice.
He is also like another recent addition to the Marvel family, and he's done like a bunch of independent comics. He's Italian, as if you couldn't tell from the name. And he's done some work on the current Amazing Spider-Man run and the Miles Morales tie-in to Absolute Carnage. I haven't read either of them, but they look cool. Actually, I do have the Spider-Man stuff at the moment on my read list because it looks interesting. But I thought it was kind of cool that they're getting like not super, what's the word? Not super comic book people.
Yeah, like the royalty of it all.
Yeah, they're getting some people from like outside of the Marvel family to like do this one.
It's nice.
They did an impressive job considering. We'll get to that.
Yeah.
But
There's some great panels.
yeah. And then we have color artist is Matt Miller. He has like a lot of Marvel works. He's working on a lot of like the current runs. So he's working on the Captain America, Juggernaut, Ironheart, Immortal Hulk runs all at the moment. He's a busy boy. Very busy boy.
Nice.
And then we have the cover artists. I think Dolphin Pants at one point in the comments he sent to us shouted out the cover artists. They are very, very beautiful covers. Both of these guys have a lot of cool work with Marvel. I didn't want to list it all and stuff, but you can go in and have a look into their history. I didn't say their names. So Daniel Mora and David Curiel, if you want to go look into them. And the one time they did previously work together was for covers on a series titled Thor vs. Hulk, Champions of the Universe, which sounds great.
That makes sense because I have read I think the first 3 of those, and the cover art of this totally one of those deep-seated things of I feel like I've seen this style before, so that makes a lot of sense. I also like the covers of these. They kind of Falcon is as he kind of is, but I feel like they drew Bucky in a way that places him in an earlier era. Like his mask is a lot sharper, and there's a lot more like eyeshadow and stuff going on that like makes him look a bit more retro, which I thought was cool.
Yeah, totally.
It's almost like, I'm just looking at it now, his mask is kind of Incredibles-esque.
Totally.
Like it's just this black thing that's on his face. It's not held there by anything. It's just kind of there. I was going to say about the cover since we're on it. I think these are really cool, very action-packed, but I don't find them particularly like memorable or iconic.
I agree. They're not memorable. They do look nice, but it's not
They're
like
very cool. But
to me, it's not like the House of M ones that we did last month, where it's like the Wolverine one, for example, really where he's on the motorbike and there's everyone around him. Like that sticks in my head, which I don't think these ones will. But I have always looked at them like when I've been scrolling through Marvel Unlimited and being like, these are nice. These make me want to read.
Very cool, very sharp, pretty, nice colors and stuff.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, cool.
But yeah, the House of M ones definitely had a style, which was kind of why those really stuck out. But yeah, look, let's just jump into the issues. I think
so.
It's a simple 5-issue run, so it shouldn't be too long. I'm saying that now, but we'll see. But yeah, so we start in issue 1 at the home of Bucky Barnes, our titular Winter Soldier, and he has a cat, a lovely white cat, and it's very cute. I'm going to make Josh do this again, because I made him do this last time we had this. Do you want to do the little onomatopoeia bit?
It's not even in here. He's not even in the document.
He's not in the document.
No.
I'm not.
Okay, cool.
Not.
You'll give Josh a second. I got to make Josh do it. I said I've got to make Josh do it, so...
He's going to get in the document.
Alright. Crash, braka braka.
Very good.
Good.
Very good.
That.
Yeah,
Very good.
definitely worth all the time he spent getting into the document.
Awesome.
Basically, Bucky's house gets invaded and he murders a bunch of goons, as Bucky does. Lots of blood, setting the tone for these comics. Very violent, and he's got a cat in his just non-metal arm, just coming along with him, which I really appreciate.
Just cradling it. It's very cute. Great use of cat.
I would think you'd put the cat. I mean, I guess he's using the metal arm to kill people, but I would want to put the cat in the metal arm so it wouldn't scratch me. I feel like the metal arm is like, if he's strong enough with his other one, like just use that one. Keep the cat in that arm because the cat's probably a bit frantic, so the claws would be out.
Yeah.
So
Clinging
in.
That's true. You make a good point. As someone who owns a cat, they have very sharp claws.
Yeah.
My cat climbs up on my shoulders a bunch, and now thinking about it, if I had a metal arm, I'd just let him go.
Just grab on. Yeah.
So maybe I will just get a metal arm.
Good idea.
Glad I'm inspired that.
Yeah. Anyway, he tucks the cat into his jacket after he's killed all his people, jumps on a motorbike, and heads away from his home. Just leaves his home. He's like, we can't stay here. I don't know how much he paid for that house, so, he's probably lost a bunch of his investments.
Yeah.
And then we cut to New York, and there's Falcon there, and there's birds, and there's wings, and then there's Mackenzie that gets mentioned. And there's terrorist camps. It's a lot. A lot of exposition in, like, one page. But Sam's outfit is very cool.
It is.
I like his outfit in the comics more than the MCU version, I'd say. I think it's because it looks more like an actual bird. But I will say, in the TV show, which we have now seen an episode of, the newer version of his costume does look very cool.
Yeah,
so.
It's like he's now a hero.
Yeah.
Up until now, he's still just kind of been an army dude wearing something.
Yeah.
But now it's like, no, you're a superhero. You need something cool to wear.
Yeah,
all the way in. Love it.
Yeah.
And then Red Wing opens the door with his screech. Goes, Crow. I don't even... That definitely the noise that he did. Yeah, I'm not Josh. I'm not as good
You're
as
not
Josh.
No.
I will say I do like that that Red Wing is like an actual bird.
Yeah, totally.
I don't know much about Falcon. Falcon. I don't know much
Yeah.
about Falcon in the comics, but yeah, I don't think I realized that Red Wing was an actual bird in the comics.
Yeah, which I'm like, I've been waiting for the movies to ever be like, Red Wing gets destroyed, and then he just uses a real bird at some point. I just want him to actually have a bird.
It would be very cool.
I would like that to happen.
Or like he had one when he was a kid, like he had Red Wing.
Totally.
As like a little bird, and that's what inspired him to want to fly and stuff. Yeah, pretty much. Very cool.
No, I was just going to say, he has like a psychic link in the comics, and I fully want them to just drop that in like these grounded MCU, especially like the Captain America ones, which are so grounded, and be like, he's got a psychic link to these birds.
To these birds.
Insane.
Yeah.
Well, you get Michael Douglas to give him a little earpiece and just be like, I've worked out how to do the same thing, but with birds.
That's so cool. That'd be sick.
Yeah. But then they couldn't cycle through like 3 different types of weaponry that don't fit into that.
You can put a Gatling gun on a bird.
Why not? Yeah. Easy.
Oh boy.
Again, you just get nanotech. You just get.
That's true.
Just get Hank Pym to make a mini Gatling gun that fits on a bird.
That is
At this point, get a drone, which he's done. I feel like we've cycled back around to the point that maybe just get a drone.
No, what the bird, damn it.
Yeah, that's just now. I just want to see like an actual Falcon with like just straps on his back and a Gatling gun underneath. But then on the back, he's got like the other ones that they used in the show. So there's like a laser beam, and they just like rotate around the actual bird. Man, this would be this is good content. I think they should hire us, frankly.
I think so.
They definitely didn't have these ideas themselves. Anyway, moving on. We then go to the Office of Federal Utilities, which they mention once or twice at this point, and everyone is murdered in this room as well. And then I thought Bucky killed them all, and then Falcon clearly says the same thing, and then Bucky's like, "Who do you think I am?" And I felt real bad when I assumed that. I was like, I thought he totally killed them all because he's just killed like 50,000 other people at his house. I think it's a fair assumption.
Yeah, he's an assassin.
Yeah, exactly. And then we get a cool little mention of the veteran support group that Sam is a part of, and like that's always been one of my favorite part of like Sam's origins in comics and MCU and stuff, is that like that's where he does like a lot of his community outreach and stuff. And we get a cool little mention of Misty Knight and Bucky Barnes, who apparently have been
pretty cute,
been dating, and Misty and Sam have been dating. I think
it's Misty and Sam. Yeah,
Misty and Sam have been dating, and Bucky's like, "We're metal arm pals," and
I love that. I had that as a note too.
Yeah,
but, it sounds like they tried to take the cat to Misty Knight and leave it with her, but it attacked her.
Yeah,
he was like, "Oh, I thought it would have been okay because we're metal arm pals."
I love
that.
Very good.
So
I think
they had to take the cat back or something.
Yeah.
Dolphin Pants mentioned it as well and was like, "She's dating Sam. She gets a metal arm. Like, what the heck is going on?" And I don't know.
That's just Sam's got a fetish.
He
just needs a metal arm.
He needs a metal arm in his life.
Apparently,
yeah.
And then this is gonna sound really dumb considering where this comic series goes, but I was like, at this point when I was reading, I was like, this is extremely convenient that the one caseworker that was not at the OFU when everyone was killed was Bucky's, and I was fully buying into the fact at this point that this person had just been hungover.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which, look, I probably was reading it when I was quite tired and it was much more obvious, but I thought they were just a lovely little person.
I had like the first thought of being like, she totally did it, guys. Like, this is such a clear twist, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
But then the next thing happens. She's like, "Oh yeah, I was drunk." I was like, "She totally wasn't."
Yeah.
But then the next thing happens, and I'm like, "Oh,
okay."
So like the natural, this little shit kid, basically, just walks into the room, and are they leaving all the doors unlocked in New York City? Like, how has he just sauntered into this room? Everyone seems like surprised, but also like not surprised enough and not asking the right kind of questions. And it's clear already he's like the worst kind of fanboy. He probably uses 4chan. He's really into like the Captain Americas, and he starts like, is this where he starts fighting them? Yeah, no, he fights them here. Yeah, he fights them at the end of issue 1.
I guess they didn't have much time to ask questions, because I'm pretty sure he just walks in and is like, "Sorry guys, I killed everyone." He just says that straight up. There's no time to ask questions, and they're like, "All right, let's just kill this kid."
It's a cool introduction, but at the same time, he enters and you're like, man, this kid looks like
I hate this kid.
Someone I want to punch in the face. But I don't know. It seems like he's been brainwashed by Hydra at this point. He seems very conflicted and stuff. But I don't know. He gave off bad vibes instantly. I think it was like the way they illustrated his smile and stuff, and he just had like
he was off kilter.
He just wasn't. Not a big fan.
And also the fact that he just walked in and
he wants to kill everyone.
And said, I killed everyone in that room.
That's also, I mean,
given off some vibes.
Probably where the vibes came from, to be honest. And we got a few viewer comments. A lot about the cat. Both Jade and Dolphin Pants talked about how Bucky's cat is great. And Dolphin Pants was like, Bucky needs a cat in the MCU so we get pet Avengers. Because we got Sparky, we got Pizza Dog so far. I would love it if he has a cat, but that'd be great.
At this point, I think he needs to focus on getting a shirt and a bed before he gets a cat for his house.
That's true.
So he's a little bit behind in that.
Yeah.
So.
A little bit.
And then we started talking about like the Hawkeye shit talk. And man, it's just great across all these comics. And both Jade and Dolphin Pants are also very much like the natural is just a shit dude, creepy dude. And apparently Jade points out that the artist forgot to finish drawing the beads for the bracelets on one of his hand, which I thought
amazing,
very interesting. Jade, you find
really
all the like very specific things. I'm very impressed.
Right. I mean, that's what happens when you have a physical issue, I guess.
That's true. That's
it.
True.
Yeah, you pay a bit more attention to everything
absolutely.
going on.
Nice. Jade was also like, I hope the cat doesn't die, and I also had this worry across the entire thing. But then Jade is also like, all good. Cat apparently stays with the cat sitter for this volume. Just disappears at some point, which, you know.
Totally.
I don't need to see more animals killed. Sparky's been... It's just poor Sparky. That's all I have to say, really.
That's messed up.
All right. That's issue 1. It was good.
Yeah.
Good starting issue.
Again, no fun names for each of these issues.
Nothing
Nothing to
fun
play
names.
with. It's just all issues and parts.
The thing I will point out that I didn't mention, but like what do they call it? Like the splash screen, I guess, inside. So when you like open it up and you go a few pages in, and it has like Falcon and Winter Soldier, and it has the summaries and stuff.
Yeah.
Very, very well laid out. Very nice. Looks very good. I just wanted to check that out.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, it also looks like the credits for like the Captain America movies.
Yeah, totally.
Where it's all just like hard shapes and like grunge texture and shit.
Yeah. That's what I've got. I've written it down as like, I love the opening titles. Like,
yeah, totally.
Literally written opening titles.
That's what it is. Yeah.
And it's also kind of the description that they give in issue 1's like initial description is pretty much exactly what we know from the films as well. Like, right down to them sort of often not really seeing eye to eye. Like, they've definitely got their individual personalities and stuff. And it's like, oh, yeah, I know this from the movies.
From the movies.
Like,
Yeah.
It makes a lot of sense.
It's like we'll jump into issue 2, because what I want to say about issue 2 is they start selling that dynamic very well in this issue especially. That, like, I don't know much about their dynamic from the comics, but obviously they've both been Captain America at this point, which is the one main difference from the MCU. But it still feels very much like they have a dynamic that is similar to what we know from those movies. However, it's different enough they kind of like switch roles a little bit in terms of who's like the comedic one and that kind of thing. So I think I'm just really impressed at how well they sell it to me, like, instantly. It's very good for someone who has not read a lot of Captain America stuff. So very impressed by that. I just wrote at the start of this one, Veronica's gone. Oh no. I was fully buying into the fact that she was innocent. We'll get to that. I like this. I like their little argument they have about the ethics of killing. I know it's like really overdone at this point. It's done in like a lot of. Thanks, Zack Snyder, for that. I haven't watched Snyder Cut yet, in case you can't tell. So I clearly think everything he makes still not that great. But we'll see how I feel later tonight.
Will and I are still recovering from our viewing.
Yeah.
My voice is recovering. I'm sorry. I had to have some Gaviscon this morning. It was feeling very burny right here. We played a bit of a drinking game, and much alcohol was consumed.
I might have to play my own one by myself.
Just
to help me get through it. It can't be that bad. Anyway, sorry, Zack Snyder. I know we're not talking about you right now.
Zachary.
Sorry,
Zachary. Yes. We're formal here.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I like the call outs to like the heads of Hydra and being like, well, the violence doesn't solve it. Like, if you cut off one head, more are going to show up. And it's kind of, it's well done in this context, I think, even though, as I said, it's maybe a bit overdone as a trope. And then there's a grandma on the train that kicks them. And I'm like, oh, I love that. Captain Marvel throwback there. They're the real villains.
And this whole sequence also gave me like the elevator fight vibes from Winter Soldier and stuff. Where they just get swarmed.
Yeah. I think Dolphin Pants mentioned later that they've stepped onto the Fortnite train.
Yeah, totally.
And then like there's just a lot of like teeth, blood spurts, punching, kicking in these areas. The one thing I did want to shout out is really cool. They go through each of the different passenger carts on this train, and each of them has like a different main weapon that they're using in these trains, which I thought was really neat little detail.
You get to like the little ninja Death Stars at some point.
Yeah, totally. They've got.
So fun.
I like the idea that Hydra has like these specialized sects of people that are like,
Yeah.
we're the baton people, we're the ninja star people.
Yeah. It's so funny. I like, it's so unusual for, I don't know, the rest of the series because they don't do it, but the cover just straight up points out that that's going to happen too.
Yeah.
Because the cover says 8 cars, 8 kinds of killer, all aboard. It's just they're just telling it's
Yeah.
Yeah, wow.
I need to pay more
they're
attention
just like,
to the covers.
it's gonna happen.
Yeah.
But that's the only cover that has any sort of other wording
Yeah.
other than like the name of the comic.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah, it's so random.
I love that. But yeah, no, this is a very cool fight scene. I was like,
Yeah.
Granted, it was just a lot of, there wasn't much words or anything here, but they did it well because
Yeah.
it was well done. So next up, we see old mate Baron Zemo, who we think he might not be the weird Zemo imitator. Is he possibly?
Yeah, the whole
Zemo?
time they've been discussing that he's dead.
Yeah, he's dead.
And who killed him? Either Punisher or who else was it?
Fisk?
Yeah.
Fisk.
Alan
That's
Wilson
the one.
Fisk,
Yeah. No, so yeah, it's a whole thing, and I'm in my head at this point. I was like, he's not dead. Why would they? kill
It's a
Zemo?
comic book.
for
It's
sure,
a comic
yeah.
book, and lo and behold, he's not dead. And I love his dumb purple mask. It's just so good.
Yeah.
It's-
And they even say those exact words, I think.
Yeah, they
At some
just
point in this comic.
fully call it out, but they're like,
Yeah.
it's so impractical. Like, you can't see through it that well. Like, surely it's hard to breathe. Like, what's going on here, mate?
I'm excited to see that in the series and how they can kind of pull that off in the Disney Plus show. But I'm almost like, I hope he wears a crown at some point as well. Like, I don't know how you pull that in, but
It's just,
give him a gold crown.
it's just, I love Hydra from the comics because they've all got these dumb green outfits, and then Zemo's got this like hilarious mask, and it's like super campy. And then you got Hydra in the MCU, and it's so grounded and everything, and it's like,
And gone.
And it's like, it's definitely missing a little bit of that campy charm. So I like that they're bringing the mask in. But again, I'm very curious because Daniel Bruhl, like, so good in Civil War, like one of the top tier Marvel villains. And I'm almost like, I want to see his face, but also I love the mask. So like, I'm conflicted. Very curious.
Yeah.
I feel like it seems like they're going to go towards both. It's like we've already seen his face, so they don't need to hide it all that much.
That's true.
So I feel like when he's doing bad, he's just going to put it on, and then when he's doing anything else, he's not going to have it. So
Yeah, totally.
I think we'll get a bit of both, which would be nice.
Yeah.
Love that guy.
Yeah, good guy. Good guy, not a good guy.
Terrible guy.
Terrible person. Caused a lot of bad things. Zemo has a great line here. He's like, "Hey, Bucky, I can just push a button and everyone will arrest you. So you have to work with me and you have to team up with me." And then Bucky's like, "Okay, I'm just going to shoot your laptop because clearly that's where the button is." And Zemo's like, why would I put the button there? Unfortunately for you, it wasn't that button. And it's just the look. I mean, it's not really a look because he's wearing a mask, but the look on his face is just brilliant. He's like, "Oh my God, Bucky. Like, come on, dude."
Yeah.
There's some great facial expressions in this series.
Yeah.
There's some great. There's a moment later where Bucky's falling out of the sky.
That's
It's one of my favorite facial expressions. We'll get to it later, but man, they do it so well. You can just tell like the pain and the sarcasm and the frustration in everyone's faces.
I'm just
in the funniest moments.
I think especially with Zemo, I'm so impressed at how well they just show his facial expression from his eyes. And the eyes are even like white, so they've got so little to work with. But every time you look at him, he's clearly got like some kind of facial expression. It's very impressive.
Yeah, it's like how they do it with Spider-Man, especially MCU Spider-Man.
Yeah, totally.
Can move it, and Deadpool. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And then
Then
we go to Altoona, Pennsylvania. And no one else is going to find this particularly funny, but I found this really funny when this name of this place pops up, because there is a place in Melbourne called Altona, which I spent a lot of time in recently, so I saw this, and I was like, Altoona? And so now, every time I go there, I'm fully just going to call it Altoona, because that's much more funny. I love that.
Excellent.
It's great. And my girlfriend's going to get really annoyed at me for that, but that's fine.
Good. That's what they're there for. They're not there to like you. You're going to annoy them.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's the whole point.
Yeah.
I love you.
Thank you for watching 36 minutes of a podcast about comic books.
Yeah, I know.
And I hope you're enjoying the vision.
Anyway, the occasional, as I mentioned earlier, the occasional mentions of Clint are really neat. I think basically I did like a little bit of back reading at this point because I was like, how does he know Clint that well in the comics? And apparently Bucky offered his safe house as like a hideout for the Young Avengers when Clint was working with them. And so that's like also like I'm not brainwashed at this point in time. So yeah, I thought that very cool that they keep calling back to him, but also they're just shit talking him a lot, and I feel bad for the guy. He's cool. I think I mentioned in my notes later, they clearly haven't read Matt Fraction Hawkeye, because Hawkeye's cool now, guys. Come on.
Yeah.
Fine.
And then we go to viewer comments at this point. I've run through a few of them already, but Dolphin Pants thinks the mask is creepy. You're wrong. The mask is great. I love.
It is creepy.
It's not creepy. It's hilarious.
It is fun.
I don't know. I didn't find it creepy at all. But each to their own. That's the name of the channel, everyone. And Zemo's not really dead because comics.
Yes.
Oh, I love this. Dolphin Pants says, I just realized Zemo's voice in my head is Bane from the Harley Quinn animated series.
Nice.
What a fun
yeah, that's cool.
I almost want to go back and read it now with talking about with Zemo like that voice.
Totally.
And then he talks about how this is how I hope Sam and Bucky make a deal with Zemo, obviously referring to the TV show. Because I think
like it.
We know that they team up at some point in the TV show. Spoilers, maybe. I don't know. I'm pretty sure that's happening, but yeah, I think it's a cool way. I
didn't know that, but again, as we know, I apparently don't pick up on anything.
Don't pick up on anything,
but that's
Josh,
cool. I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah. Well, I think it was like rumored or something, but I don't know. I hope.
Yeah, I think so.
I hope it's some kind of similar. Like we both have aims. They're very much conflicting aims, but yeah, that would be very cool.
They already stopped him from like dying. They don't want him dead. That's like the MCU was already like.
Yes,
we're gonna try and help you out here. Like,
well, they didn't
so
stop
bad.
him. T'Challa did, and
T'Challa did, but
I don't
the
know.
MCU
He didn't really consult anyone else with that.
It's true.
And it's just almost like, man, this guy did a lot of bad things. I don't know if it's a good idea, T'Challa. Maybe.
Yeah.
Look,
we'll find out in the next 5 weeks.
That's true. That's true. I was always a bit like, look, I get it. You can't kill people, but at the same time, Then we got a few things from Jade. Jade says them going through the passenger cars is pretty funny, as we said. It's very good. The passenger car scene, very good. Falcon carrying Barnes for 20 minutes. They mentioned that.
Yes.
I think Falcon is like, I don't have metal arms like you. My arms actually hurt. I'm not a super soldier. Because he just carried him flying.
It's the sort of joke that you don't hear all that often in these sorts of...
Yeah, totally.
Like in comics or movies or anything. I just love the way that Marvel kind of just go like, let's just get a little bit real for a second here.
Yeah, totally.
It's funny.
Yeah.
You wouldn't think about this.
Yeah.
Thanks.
And in House of M, we got a whole bunch of like people having to carry other people around by flight.
Yeah,
and,
totally.
This was never mentioned.
No,
so it's great that...
Thanks, Skullduggery Pleasant, dude.
It's it.
Whose name I have forgotten at this point, but thank you.
He's obviously very big in the realm of like bodily functions and skeletal, like how they all function. So he's like, you know what? I know how arms work.
This would hurt.
I'm gonna bring this up.
Yeah.
Nice.
And Jade also mentions the button that I also very much liked, but also that Zemo's expression after Barnes shoots the computer is my face when Mini-Me breaks something in the house. It's very much that. Oh my god.
Good.
Again.
Come on,
man. But yeah, thanks for all your comments again. Very good. I very much enjoyed reading through them. There's more of them. I don't know why I'm wrapping it up.
I was like, it's not over, Ben.
This is really the energy we've got today, as I said. So you're going to have to deal with it.
It's that hot cross bun energy.
It's that hot cross bun energy. And you'll never know about that hot cross bun. Anyway, issue 3. Issue 3, good issue. we get the Captain America
fun.
family. It's a lot of fun. And I wrote in my notes, I get why the Natural sucks because his parents are even worse. Can you imagine if you had these parents? Like, I get being really big fans of something, but the house is literally covered in Captain America stuff.
It's gross.
Yeah.
You have a room. You have a singular room like I do.
Yeah,
And that's it.
exactly.
That's all you need.
Exactly. You don't need the whole freaking house. And Captain America as well, like...
Like a singular character.
Like, that's just you just have American paraphernalia all over your house. Like, that's not a good thing.
No.
Yeah. To America, it is.
Yeah, that's true. That's a very good point.
Yeah, half those guys.
God. I think for some reason when I was writing this note, I had the mental image and I was like, man, I really hope the guys don't get offended by this, because I was just imagining Josh specifically with Iron Man stuff all around his house, and I'm like, would Josh do that? Maybe Josh would do that. Josh wouldn't do that. But
I gotta mix it up. I definitely mix it up. I love everything.
But for some reason, that was the mental image I had the entire time while I was reading this. I was just imagining Josh in his house, just covered in Iron Man stuff, and I was like, man, I would hate walking into that.
I would hate this.
Look, I wouldn't be against it.
Yeah.
But there's a lot more than I like than just Iron Man, so you know.
No, yeah, that's true. You
gotta mix it up.
I'm doing you a disservice here.
That's it.
Yeah.
Like in this shot here, I think this is the only Iron Man thing you can see in the
Oh yeah, that's true.
in the whole room. I think that's it.
There's a Superman thing even bigger than the Iron Man thing. So,
Yeah, that. There's Will gave me this for my birthday or Christmas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One of the two.
Yeah.
One of those.
It's just sitting there, but it's out of frame. You can't see it.
And your arm that you just keep bringing up.
Yeah. Thanks for
Your
your arm.
actual arm.
Yeah.
Look, my wrist.
My wrist. Josh's wrist, very good looking wrist.
It's Iron Man's wrist.
It's Iron Man's wrist for sure.
America's wrist.
There it is.
They have a whole conversation. You broke me. Anyway, they have a whole conversation with the parents at this point, Bucky and Sam, and it's just really eerie and disconcerting, and like the facial expressions on the parents are just creepy. I'm just like, this again. I get why the Natural sucks, because his parents are very weird.
And I feel like
I was just gonna say they're back and forth, like the mum will say something, then the dad will like reiterate or like in some way kind of back her up with just a word or two.
Yeah.
And then she'll say like another whole sentence or two, and then he'll just say a word, and it's just this back and forth for pages.
Yeah.
Like just whenever they talk, not one of them can say something. They both have to say something.
Mm-hmm.
It's so uncomfortable.
It's weird,
it's
man.
so. I do think the writing of it is very uncomfortable. I think the art doesn't convey it as well as I think it could. Like it because they are such like comical and weird characters, it feels a little light. But I can imagine if this was ever translated into live action, just how uncomfortable they would shoot it. Like everything would feel a little off angle. But I think the art doesn't quite sell it as much as I would have liked. Because they just kind of look comical in a fun and light way, but they are unhinged.
That's interesting.
But,
I think I must have noticed, like a couple of panels where they just had like a lot of their faces in shadow, and those were the particularly creepy ones. But I think you're right, in a lot of the rest of it, it is very like...
just bright, kind of.
Yeah. What's the word I'm looking for? Animate... I don't know. No.
Yeah.
It looks like children's animation, kind of.
Yeah.
It's almost like Pixar-esque.
Yeah, totally.
Like Incredibles kind of vibes, just
but
cartoony fun, I guess.
Yeah, now I'm imagining this conversation in the style of like how they seem to be shooting Falcon and Winter Soldier. They have those really close-ups of the faces as they go back and forth in the conversation. I'm like, man, that would be good.
Uncomfortable.
Yeah, it's so uncomfortable. Yes. And then they go and catch up with the Natural in this like Hydra base. And he says Hydra likes all the shows I like. They watch all the same YouTubers, and I was like, this kid watches Ben Shapiro or something, clearly, because like not the right kind of YouTubers.
Yeah.
But Dolphin Pants said, "Is Hydra subscribed to ETTO?" And I was like, "What are you insinuating, Dolphin Pants?"
Yeah. What would you want them to be?
Yeah. Like, what's going on here?
Yeah.
I don't know. This kid seems to like. He seems to mostly like good. Like he seems to be a mostly good kid that's just a little bit messed up. So maybe he's still into like good stuff. We don't talk about murdering people.
That's true.
Yeah, but like...
He does.
He does.
He does murder people.
Is he a good kid?
Maybe we don't want murderers to be.
Maybe we don't want
to be
murderers.
our subscribers.
I mean, maybe not.
This interaction as well between them when they first meet up with him. This is where that joke comes in, where I think before they actually chat to him, Bucky and Sam are having the conversation about like, this time I won't hold back.
Oh,
I think Bucky says that, and Sam's like, "You were holding back in that first fight." It's like, it was a warm up, and then a couple of seconds later, the kid's like, "Oh, you guys are back," and he's like, "Yeah, it was a warm up." Like, it's just that great, just straight up saying that line again.
Yeah, man.
Love that kind of humor, doubling down.
Yeah, but no, I do just want to know more about what YouTubers this kid watches and what Hydra watches. Honestly, this was the thing that like threw me the most in this thing. I was like, what are they watching?
Interesting.
But I don't know. It reminded me that this was very much like a 2020 comic because they're like shouting at YouTubers and stuff.
It's true.
Which I don't know if I like. I don't know if I like reading comics and being reminded of the time.
I mean, if you read like the '60s comics, they're talking about things that definitely don't exist anymore. So I guess
true.
it's always
going to be a thing. I think I like the ones that feel a bit more timeless. But yeah. They have a very cool fight scene here where they share the shield that the Natural gives them, and they're like, there's one bit where they throw it at each other, and not throw it at each other. They like bounce it off a bunch of the walls
To each other,
and then one catches the shield from the other, and I'm like, this is very cool. So cool.
I like when Falcon bounces it between Bucky's legs. He's like, that was awfully close to the gentleman. Awfully close.
Yeah.
It's great.
Yeah.
It's good fun.
Yeah, no, that's
very
a good one.
good.
Also, I just want to... This is mostly a thing that I just want to say to Will, because there is a frame in here where Bucky has a laser gun, and he says, laser gun shouldn't jam.
Yeah, I know. I was waiting for it.
I was like, yes! Because this is a thing that I brought up to Will recently after watching a Star Wars... I think it was something Mandalorian. There's a laser gun that jams. I'm like, why does it jam? And Will gave me a very like scientific explanation as to... Like a technical explanation as to why it does jam. Yeah. But when I saw this, I'm like, there it is! That's my thought.
Yeah, no. I mean, now that I think about it, I get it. No, it shouldn't jam.
It is a weird thing.
Yeah.
It is.
But also, laser guns, very cool. That's why Star Wars is cool. So,
and that's why freaking the Hydra's boring. I mean, I guess they had laser guns in the first one, but it's
but they were like one laser gun, and it was
and then just flamethrowers.
Yeah. Again, give us green suit Hydra laser. Very
agreed.
Just get rid of all the grounded MCU stuff. Just bad. No one likes Captain America: Winter Soldier.
No,
terrible.
They're making a whole series based on that tone.
No one likes it at all. Give us weird.
Give us camp.
Yeah. Poor Hawkeye just keeps getting piled on in this series.
Love it.
Yeah.
Love it. I guess my parents could have been obsessed with Hawkeye.
Yeah.
Come on, that would have been great. That's
I would
Will's
much
kids.
rather that than Captain America.
Yeah.
Like, imagine if you just had like bows and arrows all around. I mean, not that safe, but you just covered in like all that stuff and lots of purple.
Pizza and dogs.
I was going to say, you just grow up loving pizza and dogs. There's no problem there. And Haley Steinfeld. What's the problem there?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And like, just purple, which is the best color. Like, lots of purple around.
Pretty good.
Okay.
But yeah, then I wrote here, okay, maybe I was too hasty to hate the Natural because he hates bureaucracy, and I was like, I can get behind that. That's very good. And then he fully just turns again in the next comic, and I'm like, okay, you hate bureaucracy, but clearly for the wrong reasons.
Yeah. This kid just doesn't get it.
Yeah.
He's a bit everywhere.
And then this is the best line of this entire series, I will say. You're walking through this is Bucky who says this, because they're talking about the ethics of what the Natural is doing. And he says... And,
like, I can hear this in Sebastian Stan's voice as well. Like, it's so good.
Do you want to try and do it in Sebastian Stan's voice, Will? You're the voice
I did the
person.
Billy Butcher. Yeah, I do. You're walking through blood right now, kid. Splashing with every step. You don't want to be wading through it. You start wading, it's hard not to slip backwards, even when you think you're out.
Yeah. And then I said, damn, that's a good line.
It's a good line.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
It's like the iconic line of the series. It's
Yeah.
gotta be.
It's like so good.
Huge.
And when I was reading this, I fully went back and read it a few times. It's like, oh man.
Yeah, it's so
I love
good. So good.
Solid.
It's like
I almost wish there was a way to put this natural storyline in this series, just for that to happen.
Yeah,
and like
totally.
I mean, from what we've already seen in the first episode, I don't think it's too out of the realm of bringing it through.
Seems like maybe the vibes they're going with the flag smashers, but I don't know. Not
totally.
sure.
There's definitely potential, but at the same time, this comic only came out last year. So if they do pull on it, it's like they pulled on a thread that existed at the same time.
Yeah, totally.
And that's not really how they go.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
But I think this character is an interesting one at the very least. So I hope that they maybe pull him in some way in the future, or at least give him some more comics, because I'm curious. Yeah. Make me hate him less. That's the challenge.
Totally.
And then we find out that, oh my goodness, Veronica is the rival that Zemo was talking about.
What?
I didn't see this one coming. I was like, what a turn. I probably should have seen it coming.
Well, I think just not knowing these characters as well,
yeah,
like they're
totally.
talking about these off-screen, I'm like, I don't know who you are. Like,
yeah, absolutely.
Maybe.
I just fully bought into the idea that she was hungover and stuff. I was like, she went out for the night.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think because I read like issue 1 last week or 2 weeks ago, and then pretty much all of it in the last 24 hours, like the rest of it, which it's only 4 issues, but that's a lot for me. But when they're talking about, is it Sally? Someone I don't even remember her name.
Maybe.
Just like that Hydra agent who claimed to know it.
Yeah.
But when that came up, I'm like, who's that? Why are we looking for her again? I don't remember this. Like, it's just the characters are so new and fresh and people that we don't know that it's kind of like,
yeah,
maybe,
totally.
Like, I don't know. You don't know who to expect, who to think about. I don't know.
Very much feels like a 5-issue limited run in that capacity.
Yeah,
it's like they're bringing in some random ass people just because they need it. But again, I will talk about it a bit later, I think. But I kind of hope they use these characters a bit more in the future, because there's some interesting stuff they bring up here.
They set up some good stuff.
Totally. Yeah. Moving to what you guys sent in to us, Dolphin Pants wants to shout out the Chadwick Boseman tribute at the start, which all the comics from like this period, which was November last year, I think, roughly, have like a really cool Chadwick Boseman tribute at the start. I can't remember who it's written by.
Yeah, not sure. But the art is also lovely too.
But yeah, I didn't read it at this point in time, because I read it previously, because I've read a bunch of comics from this time. But yeah, no, it's really good, and all the covers at the time have a little banner at the top that says "Rest in peace, Chadwick Boseman." It was clear, like they made a big thing out of it, and understandably so.
And it was pretty much every Marvel comic for like a month or something.
Yeah, totally. And
couldn't avoid it.
Yeah, as Will says, the art is like stunning in the pages they have for him.
Very cool. Great tribute.
Absolutely. And then Dolphin Pants also says, "I want that I love Cap mug." I'm sure you could find one on like Etsy or something.
Redbubble or something. Yeah.
That boy and his pickles. I can totally imagine the parents saying that. I didn't notice that line, but yeah.
No.
And
I think that was part of the like doubling down.
Yeah.
When they're like, oh, like tell us about the kids. Like he likes this.
Oh yeah, he likes
this.
pickles.
He likes pickles, and then the other one's just like that boy and his pickles. Yeah. Just that other parent backing them up. For no reason.
Totally. And then also, which I didn't point out when we were talking about it, great excuse to get them into the Captain America costumes. They just fully take Captain America costumes from this family, which is
very cool.
A very cool thing to do. And I love that. I love that Bucky's like, oh, it's a bit tight. It's like chafing and stuff. And
chafing.
Sam's like, yeah, I know, but just deal with it, man. It's not important.
And the mask smells.
Yeah. Oh, now that I think about that. I didn't wish I hadn't thought about that. Yep. Anyway, that Hydra guy who surrenders, come on, put that into the show, Marvel. Yeah, I guess so.
Maybe.
It's not something I desperately want, but
fuck you, Dolphin
good for you, Dolphin Pants.
We kind of got that in Iron Man 3. There's that one guy that's like, honestly, I hate working here. They're so weird.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. And he says, I think being obsessed with Hawkeye line is an actual dig at you all.
Apparently.
Excuse me, Hawkeye is great, okay?
Yes,
I can't wait to, after we finish recording this, go and play Avengers.
Same,
and
I've got my PlayStation all set up.
It's going to be great.
Wait, is he out? Sorry, I've not looked up.
The
yesterday.
PlayStation 5 update was update and also Hawkeye.
Yes.
Yes. Sick.
Yesterday.
Didn't know. I
You got 75 gigs download, boy. Get on that.
Oh, yeah, no.
I'm going to do it. I was going to do it before this, but I'm like, I've got to stream. It's going to take all my bandwidth.
Yeah.
So
it's
this is the reason why.
Yeah.
I blame
you got
this.
Sunday.
I blame this.
Yeah.
I got nothing going on tomorrow.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. Next one. I don't know what that was. But Dolphin Pants also shouts out the plot twist and her uniform. I didn't actually mention this, but I really want to mention this. Veronica looks so good. What an outfit. What a get-up. Kind of slightly Harley Quinn vibes, but also like Hydra-ized.
I literally had that as well. I had Harley Quinn vibes. The colors were kind of Spider-Gwen-esque.
Yeah.
Like those sort of pastel, like bright pastel colors.
Yeah.
But also just thinking about it now, I'm also what's the girl, the evil girl from Kim Possible.
She-Go.
Yeah. Kind of like slightly those vibes too, with the colors and the patterns on the outfit.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. No, it makes sense. And then we got a couple from Jade here. Jade just says, now that we've been to his house, I can see why the Natural is carrying on about being a fan. Makes me wonder if I maybe should tone down the Star Wars and He-Man stuff at home. Look, as long as you don't have a house entirely full to the brim of it, I think you're okay.
Yeah.
He-Man as well. That's never come up from Jade, has it?
No, we need to discuss
Need to find out more
into
about that
He-Man,
one.
yeah.
All three of them in dorky costumes. Okay, so this volume is about nerd fan service. Gotcha. The Natural's costume that he wears in this is actually very cool. I think he said he's made it himself. I kind of actually thought they were going to go down the road where he became Captain America at the end of this. But apparently not. But I don't know why I thought they'd do that in just like a random 5-issue thing. But I was like, oh, maybe this is what they're teasing. It's a cool outfit. And then Jade is like, wait, so the lady was the bad guy? And I think in Jade's earlier comment, she was like, oh, the lady's totally the bad guy. Oh, wait, no, it's the Natural. So different line of thought to me where I was fully buying into it. But I at least appreciate that someone else was somewhat misdirected. I don't feel quite as dumb now. But yeah, that's issue 3. Another good issue. Very good issue. We got a twist in the middle. We're in the middle here. And then we go into issue 4. Again, lack of names, so it's fine. But give us some names, good names, punny names, please.
Punny names,
so we can rate the names. We love rating names. Veronica just full on like starts admitting her crimes to her mother, and her mother seems okay with it. I fully was like, is her mum like Madam Hydra or something? Like
that would be great.
Right down to the point where like she gets off the phone and she's like, "Yeah, Mum, how Hydra do you two?"
Yeah.
Like, what is happening? Like,
mum is
she's apologizing to her mum, so she clearly knows. Like, I don't know. She knows that her parents will be sad and disappointed.
Oh, she's so okay with it. Like the conversation that is had, I'm like. I don't think they're alluding to that, but it's very much like, who is this mother? And you are doing a terrible job of raising your child. If this, Look, I'm not here to judge, but I also am judging.
Every single character.
Every single character. I very much am, man. I am here to judge, apparently. And then the Natural has fully drunk the American Kool-Aid. And then he's all about like, America is great. This is what America is, killing people. And I'm like, woo.
Incorrect, you little shit.
Bucky and Sam fully like set him straight somewhat, which is like, no, this is what Captain America stands for.
That's what Steve stands for.
Being a good person. Oh, and they mentioned that like Steve has like Irish background and all this stuff. And I'm like, I get it. Maybe not the thread to pull on. Maybe talk about how like Sam was Captain America and like Sam is black and like that's an important thing instead of being like, Cap had like
he had like a third Irish. Or something.
And I'm like, I get where you're going for, but there's probably better ways you could have done that.
If it was like in the movies or something, maybe. But at this point, so many people have been Captain America that the idea of like a wholly blue-eyed, blonde hair, straight-born America, that's not even Captain America anymore.
No, it's not. Except that they keep bringing Steve Rogers back, so it kind of is.
Steve Rogers.
So, look, anyway. And then they have like a fully like amazing mid-air jetpack fight, which is sick.
Yes.
I enjoy that. They like start stealing jetpacks in mid-air. And this is where we get that really the facial expression that I think Josh was talking about earlier. Yeah.
Such a good face.
So good.
It's such a good face.
So he's Bucky's falling. They jump out of a plane. Obviously the only one that actually has the ability to fly is Falcon, Sam. And they're just like, we'll work it out on the way down. And so they're just basically trying to like steal the jetpacks from the AIM guys that are attacking them. AIM? Hydra guys, they're all the same. Hydra guys that are attacking them. And by the almost probably the ground, Bucky doesn't quite have one yet. The kid's just like, hey, can I give you a lift? And he's just so pissed. Yeah, fine.
I think Jade says Barnes just looks so done, and he's just like almost like, should I let myself die here?
Yeah.
Like, which I'm like, look, if this kid was trying to help me, I also would probably have a moment of consideration.
Yeah.
I would still get the help because I don't want to die, and I think Bucky made the right decision there. But at the same time, it's
you never know.
You don't want that hit to your ego sometimes.
Yeah.
And then we get like Veronica chatting to them in the diner, which is a very, very cool scene. And she's like, she says something like, "Oh, you probably think everyone in this room is Hydra, but no, they're just all normal people." Yeah. And I'm like, nice, I like it.
That's cool.
It's like doing calling out the trope. They do that a little bit in this. Again, thanks Skullduggery. And I know Veronica is bad, but like she looks so badass. And this is great conversation. You kind of feel bad for her, but she's clearly like also very, very much manipulating them. Like I think she talks to Bucky. Apparently they've had a relationship at some point, or I'm not even sure they have. She's fully just she says something like, "Oh, you left me and that led me to this," and then Bucky's like, "That's not what happened." And she's like, "Anyway." So it's almost I'm not even sure something did go on there, but maybe she's like trying to pull some strings.
Yeah.
But I thought that whole bit was very good. And I wrote that the Natural's still kind of a little shit because he has a little turn at the end here, and he's like, I am Captain America, but this is what Captain America does. And I'm like, man, you did not listen to these men.
Yeah, with 4 issues in, you dick.
Yeah, and we also find out because they think that that Veronica is the one who called the hit on the government agency. And she's like, "No, I didn't do that. The kid freaking did it himself because he's an idiot."
Yeah.
And so we find out,
it was all him.
That's why he's still just a douchebag, and we don't like it.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, I feel like what they're trying to do here is like very much allude to like common things these days of like white boys like reading stuff on the internet and taking that in and like doing bad things. They don't quite pull it off because like, as Will kind of said earlier, the art style in this is not quite serious enough that it works. But I definitely got them pulling at that thread, and I was like, I see what you're trying to do. It might work if it was slightly different vibe of the comic.
Totally. Yeah, because like the way, like, I mean, I hadn't even considered that element, and I think that speaks volumes of the art definitely informs a lighter tone than it could have been.
Yeah, no, totally. But like, I definitely, there's a few moments across the whole thing where I see you're trying to be like meaningful here, but it like, same with like when they're talking about Cap earlier. It's just like, maybe pull on some other threads or do something slightly different if you want to go to that, or just don't approach it at all. Maybe just leave it as like a fun 5-issue thing. Just wanted to say that. We got a couple viewer comments here as well. Dolphin Pants talks about how they're a massive fan of this villain duo, which I am as well. Zemo.
Yeah.
Well, they might be talking about Natural and Veronica, but I'm particularly a big fan of Zemo and Veronica. I think they're a good Hydra duo.
Which we mostly get in the next issue. I think,
totally.
Right?
Yeah. And then Jade points out that what time frame did this volume happen in? Veronica has enough time to bleach her hair a lighter shade of blonde, then dye the tips. Someone who has dyed their hair as well, I didn't notice that, but I'm also like, there's something
it takes a bit.
That takes a bit of time, and it takes a bit of time for it all to grow and stuff. So
could just be like wig vibes, like she's done it before and then did all that. Yeah, had a wig on to make herself look like she was still good. Well, that she hadn't done that.
That's true. I did not think of a wig.
Josh,
Josh,
cosplay, baby.
Josh, you're very
she's had blonde hair for like 3 months. She's been wearing a green and black wig. Cheeky thing.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Anyway, that's issue 4. A bit less to talk about in that one. It's just mainly the diner scene for a lot of it, which is a good scene.
Setting it up. Yeah.
But then issue 5, I have to say, probably my favorite issue of it all. Great wrap up issue. It's a diner fight. We start with the diner fight. We have Bucky and Sam fighting the Natural, and they're all like trading blows and stuff, and lots of oofs and teeth and blood and all that stuff. And then Zemo and Veronica like start fighting outside as well. And I think at one point everyone inside stops and looks out the window and is like, oh, hang on, what's going on out there? Those are the villains. And I appreciated that a lot. I also like that Zemo's got a metal hand too, so like the metal arm gang is now a group of 3.
So good. And then they comment on it, and it's like, hey, sweet metal arm.
Yeah.
Like,
absolutely.
So good. Yeah.
And then the best moment.
Yeah.
Veronica is sitting behind a pickup truck, and then she's like to Zemo, oh, some of these men will fully turn on you when I give them the order. And he's like, haha, no, they won't. And then she's like, Order 66.
It's so good.
And Zemo's like, what the hell? I don't get it.
Yeah. And then it was,
It's just...
very good. Very Marvel.
So like, Marvel.
Yeah.
To go such a direct path of a reference.
They know they can do it at this point. Like, they're just like... There's no copyright issues or anything here. It's totally... We have full control. We're just going to do it. And I love it. I love it as... I'm sure Will loves it as well. Big Star Wars
very
nerds.
Good.
I'm sure Josh loves it. Slightly less big Star Wars nerd, but still big Star Wars nerd.
A little bit less. I'll just say on the like no copyright issues, I've read Marvel comics where they've directly said like I am the Lois Lane to your Superman in the Marvel comics. So
they probably haven't like cared for a long time.
Yeah, they probably don't have that issue ever.
The House of M1 where they had the Homer Simpson mug.
It's true.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, you know, maybe they don't care that much, but then it was just so good. It was just so unexpected. And it fully makes sense that for someone of her age, she would be like,
meme.
This is cool. And then we get a shout out to a name which she might potentially have in future comics, which is the Mistress of Misdirect, which is a cool name. But then she's like, oh, I don't like that name. And she's like, oh, they're going to call me that, aren't they? And Zemo's like, yeah.
Yeah.
It's
so good.
It's quite meta, and I like it.
It's kind of fourth wall breaking.
Yeah. And then I love that Hydra is having their own generational battle as well, and it's fully like the classic Zemo dumb looking people versus Veronica with a cool like 2020s get up and everything. And honestly, it's a hard choice for me because I love the dumb purple mask, but Veronica also is such a badass and says Order 66, so I don't really know.
Seems like a nicer person.
Well, probably is a nicer person.
Yeah. I feel like she's like a bit... Like, I mean, she says, she's like, yeah, I'll be a bit nicer, but I am still planning to do some bad shit.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you know what? At least you know.
At least you're aware.
You know that you're going to do bad shit.
Yeah, totally.
I'd vote for you.
But then again, the dumb purple mask, I got a soft spot for it. So
it's hard to choose.
But yeah, no, it's a really fun ending issue. You get like the brief team up with all 5 of them being like oh, we're just going to kill all the Hydra guys because we don't know who they're going to work for. So we'll just knock them all out. And then they debate who's on whose side, and they're like, is it going to be 3 versus 2? What if we all gang up on the natural instead? So then they all gang up on the natural, and it's very cathartic for me. And I'm sure most people reading this comic as like, just seeing him get beat up and just being this little shit of a kid finally gets beat up.
Beat down.
And then like it's like even the Hydra people don't like him, and it's like I feel a little bit sorry for him, but that little bit sorry is overtaken by the fact that, man, I hate him so much. And then he gets one more punch from Bucky at the end after Bucky gives him a little speech. He's like, here, I'm going to teach you the morals and then punch you in the head again.
Go back to sleep.
Go back to sleep. Yeah.
And then, they do a great job of selling the dynamic of Sam and Bucky again. There's like a really good little conversation here about what it means to be Captain America and like what like the morals of that are, and Sam talking Bucky out of killing the heads of Hydra and being like, they're under arrest, and the Bucky's like, no, just shoot him. It makes way more sense. But like the way Sam talks him out of it, I can't remember the exact lines, but it's really well written and very believable. And then Chekhov's Mackenzie mentioned all right at the start, definitely wasn't going to be relevant at all. Finally comes through and fully obliterates Veronica's shoulder with a laser gun. It looks like it's hanging on by a thread. But then later it doesn't look so bad. It's kind of weird because like the frame where it gets shot at, it's fully there's like a gap.
It's removed.
I was like, oh, is she gonna get a metal arm as well?
So cool.
And then in the next frame, it's like just a hole, and I'm like, oh, okay.
I mean, I guess it's a good thing that despite them killing literally every Hydra member, they managed to avoid her, I guess.
Yeah, it's so it's such a like I can't say I was expecting it to be quite as like openly murdery as it was. But
I would say the same of the show. If you
that's
see
true.
the show,
That's true.
There's
actually,
a lot more murder than I expected from the good guys.
Oh my god, yeah, that entire first scene. I mean, I'm hoping you've watched the show if you're listening to this. But that entire scene where they're going through the canyon, and
everyone dies.
And I was just like, because I was like, oh, so surely he's gonna like string them onto stuff, and no, he just lets them fall, and I'm like, okay. That's where we're going with it. We're just not acknowledging it. That's okay, but. Okay. And then they end on like the veteran support group that they mentioned at the start, which is very sweet to round out all the murder and everything. They go to the veteran support group, and Bucky's has his cat there, and he introduces the cat's name, and the cat's name is Alpine, which is a very good name for a white cat.
That is a good name.
Very warm and fuzzy vibes, which don't fit the entirety of the rest of the comic.
I almost wonder if the cat is in this because it will turn up in the show.
Yeah, it almost feels like, because it's a tie-in series, they were like, we want to give him a cat in the show, so we need to give him some reason to have a cat. But I would hope, I mean, as I love cats, I love animals, Pet Avengers would be great.
Be good. I mean, it's not usually his title in the comics, but they gave him the White Wolf in.
Oh, that's true.
Black Panther, so maybe
he buys like a little white puppy then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd be more down for that. I'm not a big cat person.
Yeah. I do love at the end when he does introduce himself and the cat. You just get the final frame is just hi Bucky, hi Bucky, hi Bucky, hi Alpine. Someone says hello to the cat.
Yeah. That would be me. No, that would definitely be me.
Totally.
Sebastian
punchline.
Yeah. And just to burn through the last lot of viewer comments again, thank you all for writing in. We appreciate it a lot. I say all, 2 of you, but thank you. What Bucky and Sam, this is Dolphin Pants. What Bucky and Sam said about Cap was really, really good. I'm sorry, did she really just order 66's ass? Yes, she did. And as we pointed out earlier, best moment. And then I like New Hydra. I hope we keep New Hydra. So this is what I wanted to chat to you guys about. I hope this is not just like it's
a self-contained
thing, at least with the 2 heads of Hydra. Like those, that kind of dynamic of like the old versus the new, I very much hope they continue to pull on that string. It makes me want to go and read more of the current Cap stuff.
To
like
where Zemo and stuff is at.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to kind of know where the where I guess the election for the new
Yeah.
head of Hydra goes.
Totally. And Veronica's an interesting character, so
Yeah.
I hope.
And also just to see why they think he's dead and stuff like that.
That's
I'd like
true.
to read that kind of
Yeah,
thing.
go back earlier.
Yeah.
It's made me want to read Cap comics, which I haven't actually wanted to do for a while. So I'm good job, Skull Pleasant.
Yeah. It's a shame they don't do the little boxes all that often
Yeah.
anymore that give you context of like this happened in Captain America issue 5 or whatever.
They did it like
then we would be able to find them way easier.
I think they did. They did it for when they mentioned Zemo getting killed, so you can go
They
directly
did.
to that one.
They definitely did. Yeah.
I think
I
there's
missed that
one
one.
other one that I can't remember, but
Sure.
but yeah, there's a couple of them, but it's definitely not as much. Like I read the Vision Quest run from like the 80s.
The whole thing of that.
The
just
whole
like,
thing is
I
like
know this doesn't make any
asterisks.
sense.
It's just there's little asterisks on like everything, and in the bottom corner it's like read this to find out more.
Yeah.
And I'm
Yeah.
like, so they definitely did it so much back in the day. I think there's a middle ground you
Yeah.
could strike there. I don't think they need to do it
Yeah,
that
for
much.
sure.
But yeah, no, I definitely agree that it would be nice for them to do it a little bit more.
And the thing with the old comics as well is that like 50% of the old comics is actually showing those panels.
Yeah.
So it's like you don't even need to tell me because you are retelling me everything I need to know anyway. So it's fine.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And then the final thing Dolphin Pants says is bringing in a random character to save the day at the end. Yeah, this ending was going great, but then you had to do this. I have to say, I kind of disagree. They fully set her up and mention her like repeatedly.
Yeah.
And I kind of go the opposite way, where I'm like, I also don't really like it, but mainly just because they call her out so much.
Yeah.
They're always like, Sally, are you here? Sally.
Yeah.
And I'm like, it's very much like a MacGuffin kind of scenario where it's like she's going to show up at some point and do something, but a bit more subtle for me, a bit less subtle for Dolphin Pants, maybe.
Yeah.
And then Jade also says Order 66C nerds. Yeah, they're all nerds. It's great.
Ooh, yeah.
And then Jade does make an interesting point where she says, everyone who is a bad guy appears to be slightly unhinged. That's fine for one volume, but I'm not super comfortable with the implication that all villains are unwell, which I kind of get. I didn't really... I guess I kind of got those vibes from The Natural, but not so much from Veronica and Zemo. I almost thought they were just very calculated, maybe slightly like sociopathic on occasions, but it's like your point is totally reasonable. I didn't necessarily read it as that, but it's definitely I definitely agree that it's not an implication that we should be pushing too much. Like it's okay on occasion, but
I guess on Veronica's part, it depends on like what she said about her relationship with Bucky.
that's true. Yeah.
Because that is like her reason for being bad is for attention.
Yeah. Totally.
And that is a mental health problem.
Yes, that is also true.
So if that is actually true, which we were questioning earlier, but yeah, if it is true, then that's great.
Yeah, totally. But yeah, no, I'm glad you brought up the point because it's definitely an interesting one to talk about, and I think there's definitely a balance that I felt was struck okay, but maybe on rereading I would not think that now with this context. And then also Cat is back, and the point of the volume wasn't nerds, but rather about Barnes rethinking how he approaches things, which very much
it's in line
with everything we read, and also seemingly the TV show as well.
Absolutely.
Which is very cool. But yeah, that's the run. It's good.
It's Falcon Winter Soldier, 2020 to 2021.
Yes, not to 2021. It was all in 2020. Will.
Oh, weird, because the Marvel Unlimited thing said 2021.
Oh, did it?
But,
well, yeah. Well, no, the last issue came out in December, so
yeah.
But it came out on Marvel Unlimited just like a little bit ago. But yeah, no, it's great. Surprising. Like I was a bit hesitant to do it because I hadn't read it. I hadn't read like anything about it, so I wasn't sure if it was going to be any good. I'm glad it did turn out to be pretty decent. There's still some issues in it, I think, but like overall,
There was 5. Sorry.
Damn it. I was going to say it, and I'm like, nah, don't do it. It's fine. Let it go.
But no.
Yeah, no, that was a good fun one, and a good one to play with these characters, similar to all the ones we've kind of done. It's like stuff featuring characters that I just haven't really dabbled with, and now I'm excited to read more of them. Although I'm watching them right now, so I don't know if I'll read any more of them until after the show.
Yeah, that's kind of what I did with WandaVision, I think. I kind of right before the last episode, I read a bunch of stuff, but it wasn't I wanted to watch all of the show first, which is fair enough.
Yeah, it's kind of given me an appreciation of those characters for the show more so now.
Yeah, totally.
I'm kind of like, I'm way more keen for the rest of this show after reading this.
Yeah. And I will say, just on a slightly separate note, but the Marvel Legends things they did on Disney Plus this time, the Wanda and Vision ones, were like whatever. But I actually thought the ones they did for Falcon and Winter Soldier were really good. Like the way they compiled the clips together, they're worth giving a little watch. Just more because I'm like, oh yeah, I remember why I like these characters for a show I'm not as excited about. It's like, these are very well written characters.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah, cool.
Except maybe the Agent Carter one, because they did one for her, and I was like, I don't think we need that.
What have you got?
Yeah.
But the Zemo one was very good, especially. Oh man, Zemo is so good.
Nice.
But yeah, that's the March comic cast.
That's it.
Thank you all for reading another comic with us. And thanks Will and Josh for indulging my comic book addiction again.
I love it.
Thank
you for making me read comics.
Oh, that's all right.
And make use of Marvel Unlimited.
Oh yeah. It's actually, especially with like all these shows coming out, I've read so many comics recently, and it's like I have a list of them going on my phone, and it's just, man, I've read the most random things. It's great. There's so many. Just sometimes I'd recommend just reading what comes up on that app every week. Just stuff that you wouldn't normally read. There's some
and the new this week, there's always like a weird comic. I'm like,
there's some really wacky stuff out there. It's great.
Yeah. And I saw the list on your stream on Thursday.
Oh my god, yeah.
Before Back Pocket, that is quite a freaking list.
And it's only halfway. It's halfway through March, and I've already got like a full page worth of things.
It's ridiculous.
I almost want to make it into a spreadsheet, and I'll like, if I do, I'll share it in the ETTO Discord. So you guys can all have a look at it. Speaking of which, how can you get access to the ETTO Discord?
You can jump over to patreon.com/each to their own. Anything above $3 and you get into the Discord, and $3 will get you early access to things like this if it's early enough, and if it's not, then you don't get access to it. But it's a great place to be, that very lovely Discord.
Yes.
It's also where you'll be able to find out any upcoming podcasts to give us some notes, upcoming comic cast to give us notes.
Yes.
Speaking of upcoming comic casts, for April, again, I didn't vet this with the guys beforehand, so this one's actually
I don't even know what this is. I'm excited.
I'm actually not sure, so I'm going to ask a question. So, this is great content. Basically, we have Black Widow coming out May 7th, I think, and we also have, in like a week on Amazon Prime, there is a show coming out called Invincible, which is based on
that one. Definitely that.
Do you want to do that?
Yes, I want to read that very much.
So the show's coming out in like a week, so we'll have watched the show before we read the comics, which I think is fine. I actually almost think I'd rather it that way. But okay, in April then we'll do, I think I had a quick look last night, we'll do the first 8 issues, because I think that's where you hit the twist, or maybe part of the twist.
Yeah, cool.
So that's a independent, well, not independent, I think it's done by Image or Vertigo or one of them. But independent enough. So in terms of finding that, you can get a Comixology subscription. That's the best way of doing it. It's like $6 for a month, and Comixology Unlimited, and you'll be able to download the first 2 volumes of that, which has the first 8 issues.
Awesome.
Or if you're Jade, you can buy the physical copy. And I might even buy the physical copy, because apparently it's a very good comic, and I like supporting the independent ones a bit more than I like supporting Marvel and DC. I like supporting Marvel and DC, but they don't.
We got our apps for that.
Exactly. Well, we don't have the DC app yet. Please DC. And then I think we'll probably do Black Widow the month after, and then and then roll into Loki.
Loki, which is right there.
Oh yes.
If you were listening, it's.
I love the backlight of it as well. It's so pretty.
I know, it makes me very.
It's very nice.
But
Yeah.
thanks for getting that all together, Ben.
All good, no worries. Sorry, it's a bit of chaotic one. That's just
alright.
the energy you got me with today, so I hope it...
That hot cross bun energy.
That hot cross bun energy.
That's it.
Anyway, I've been Ben.
I've been Will.
I've been Josh.
Thank you, bye.
Hey, everybody.
Bye, everyone.
Oh my god, I'm just so tired.